Some families are remembered for what they achieved. Others are remembered for what they endured. For the Kennedy family, tragedy has never been an interruption to history. It has been part of its rhythm, and in late 2025, that rhythm claimed another life, quietly and devastatingly. Beneath the noise of American politics, her name was Tatiana Schloberg. She was 35 years old, a mother of two, a journalist, and the granddaughter of President John F. Kennedy. Before she died, Tatiana left behind words so raw and honest that readers struggled to absorb them. Those words were written for one person, her mother. Caroline Kennedy. For my whole life, Tatiana wrote, I have tried to be good, to be a good student, a good sister, and a good daughter, and to protect my mother and never make her upset or angry. Now, I have added a new tragedy to her life, and there is nothing I can do to stop it. These words were published in The New Yorker on November 22, 2025, a date Tatiana chose deliberately, the 62nd anniversary of her grandfather's assassination in Dallas, Texas. Just 5 weeks later, she was gone. But Tatiana's confession was only half the story. Months earlier, her mother, Caroline Kennedy, had broken decades of silence with a letter that stunned Washington, D.C. in January 2025. Caroline publicly accused her cousin, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., of being unfit to serve as Secretary of Health and Human Services. In a letter to the United States Senate, she described disturbing scenes from their youth, his basement, garage, and dorm room as places where drugs were readily available and chaos was normalized. Caroline accused RFK Jr. of encouraging addiction within the family and preying on the desperation of parents with sick children, while hypocritically vaccinating his own kids. She invoked her father John F. Kennedy, her uncle Robert F. Kennedy, and Ted Kennedy, writing that all three would be disgusted by what Bobby had become. She urged the Senate to reject his nomination. They did not. RFK Jr. was confirmed anyway. What almost nobody knew at the time was that Caroline's daughter was watching all of this unfold. From a hospital bed, Tatiana Schloberg had been battling acute myeloid leukemia, a rare and aggressive form of blood cancer, for 8 months. She discovered it in May 2024, just after giving birth to her second child. A routine blood test revealed her white blood cell count was dangerously high. Within hours, her life changed forever. The next 18 months were brutal. Tatiana endured multiple rounds of chemotherapy, to bone marrow transplants, and experimental immunotherapy. Her sister Rose Schloberg donated stem cells. Complications followed: graft versus host disease and a severe viral infection that destroyed her kidneys. When she finally returned home, she could barely walk. She couldn't lift her children. Yet what tortured her most wasn't dying. It was watching the people she loved suffer because of her illness. As RFK Jr. rose politically, Tatiana watched in disbelief. From her hospital room, she saw him take control of the very healthcare system she depended on. She wrote about her fear as funding for medical research, including mRNA technology being explored for cancer, was slashed. The political suddenly became deeply personal. Tatiana also wrote about her children. Her son Edwin might have a few memories of her. Her daughter Josephine, she feared, would have none. Because of infection risks, Tatiana couldn't care for her baby the way a mother should. I don't know who she thinks I am, she confessed. It was one of the most heartbreaking lines readers had ever encountered. On December 30th, 2025, Tatiana Schloberg died. The announcement came from the JFK Library Foundation. 6 words: our beautiful Tatiana passed away this morning. Days later, her funeral was held at St. Ignatius Loyola Church in Manhattan, the same church where Jackie Kennedy's funeral had been held decades earlier. One name was notably absent from the service: Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now, Caroline Kennedy faces the same task her mother once did: preserving memory, ensuring that Edwin and Josephine know who their mother was, what she stood for, and how deeply she loved them. Loss and remembrance, grief and preservation. This is the Kennedy way. And this time, the truth was the legacy left behind.